Welcome to RIT Talk. A while back, we decided we wanted to do something that would benefit and help the firefighters within our community. We weren't exactly sure what to do. We held a Zoom meeting, gathered some ideas, and we decided one way that we could help was to create more awareness about mental health. And one way of doing that is to talk about it. And that is where RIT Talk comes in. We're going to talk and talk some more. Not really sure where this is going to go, but we promise we're going to keep talking. Have a great day, don't quit, and keep pushing forward. And here we go. Today, I'm going to talk with Gary. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, my name is Gary. All right. Well, you said the best part. My name is Gary. I've been in the fire service since 2009. Started as a volunteer in a little fire district in Colorado. Came down to Yuma, kind of got stuck here, and made a career in the fire service. So I am several years later, captain, paramedic, hazmat tech, all the good stuff. And got a beautiful daughter and beautiful dog, beautiful family. So life is good.
Good. All right. So I asked Gary to come on and want him to tell us how he handles adversity as well. So take it away.
So I know I've been listening to your podcast and some other podcasts about adversity, and what I'm getting is everyone handles adversity differently. Not always the healthiest way, but if some things work for you that don't work for others. And I just want to touch on really quick on how important and what I enjoy about this RIT Talk is that you're getting different perspectives. Because what I say is not going to work for someone, but what Adam, Brad, or you say might help them. So I think it's really great that you have different people on that have different point of views. I think that's awesome and helpful. Well, one of the ways I use many different methods to approach adversity, because adversity in itself, there's many different levels, and they can't all have or don't all have the same means of handling them. So there's a couple steps I take just to help myself, whether it's at work, at school, my personal life, with the kids. Couple of things. So number one thing is what I think is very important is having a sense of humor. We are in a job as firefighters, paramedics, or if you're law enforcement or whatever you do, whether it's public safety, military, we are in a job where we see the very worst of people, the very worst of days, from the loss of their loved ones, the loss of their house, loss of property, whatever it may be. And we are constantly exposed to that. And it does take a toll on us. But finding a little sense of humor, back at the station, not taking everything so serious, being able to joke around, laugh, have a good time. It's, some can say it's unprofessional, but in the opposite, it's what keeps us sane and what helps us keep a good mindset as we see these horrors that we are subjected to every day. Another thing is to be mentally prepared. When we take up this job, I know when I signed up for this, I was not aware of what I would see.
Okay.
I was, from a small town. The fire department was people that had, chili cook-offs and catfish fry, parades. That was my impression of the fire department. But when I'm coming down here out into a bigger town or bigger city, and getting on with the career agency and seeing what I've seen definitely made me realize that I have to be mentally prepared for what I'm about to see or what I'm about to witness and what my day may bring.
Okay.
And a lot of that is just doing a checklist in my mind. Is there anything I can do to make it better? Yes or no? If yes, then do it. Can I improve the outcome or change the outcome? No. Okay. In my mind, I know I tried everything that I could do to the best of my training, the best of my ability and knowledge, but the outcome was the same regardless of what would have happened.
Okay.
So in my mind, I can't change the outcome. So I don't need to put that burden of that scene or that trauma on me, because no matter what I try to do, no, the outcome's the outcome. So not
Okay.
taking it too hard. And if you mess
Now,
up, learn from it.
now, I understand what you're saying with that, because I try to do, the similar, something similar where, I I go through my head and find out or figure out, I did everything I could, the best of my ability. It's out of my control. Now, you do you find that that solves it 100%, or are you still in the back of your head? Because that's me in the back of my head. Yeah, I can tell myself that, and it'll take me, sometimes to get over it a little while, but it's not as bad. And I'm talking about me. So I'm just curious with you, because I know I could tell myself the same thing. Um, is it just boom, quick, and it's done, or is it still linger, or just curious?
So when I first started doing mm, that checks, it worked. But as I grow older and subjected to more trauma, I find it harder and harder to go through those lists like you. And that's where I just had to take a step back and make peace with the situation. It's hard. It's really hard. Our mind is our worst enemy. Our mind doesn't want us to, a counselor told me once that our mind does not want us to be happy. It either wants us to think of the past and be somewhat depressed, or think of the future and be anxious and bombard ourselves with all these thoughts. It's very hard. It's very difficult. But calming your mind and taking control of your mind and making peace with that situation is key. It's hard, and sometimes it may take a few days, a few weeks. I've had calls
Okay.
that bothered me for months, but in the end, you just got to try to make that peace. Whether it's leaning on the support group, building up that resiliency, venting about your friends, take a hike to go clear your mind. But that's where it's really important to, I feel, that's where your hobbies and your support come play, so you can lean on them. And
Okay.
to me, that's what helps me out. If that makes sense.
Yep. Makes sense. I was just curious.
No, it's never 100% proof, no matter what we do in life. Something's always going to come back to, our mind's always going to wander to the what ifs or the unknown. But that's where knowing yourself and being truly honest with yourself, like, hey, this call bothered me more than I thought it did, or more than it should have. That's where I need to go talk to someone. That's where I need to reach out and get help. And the big factor of all this, you could say, oh, there's 101 tricks of the trade, and you can do this and this and X, Y, and Z, but none of that will matter if you're not honest with yourself. So it's my
Exactly.
little spiel on that. I think you might agree with that.
Yeah, you do have to be honest with yourself, because if like you just exactly what you said, and then it's going to build up, and it's going to build up, and you can only lie to yourself for so long, and then it's going to be too much. And then
Mhm.
hopefully you're able to tell yourself the truth and not lie to yourself before it gets too bad.
And we are our biggest critic, but with that, we have to be kind to ourselves.
Yes.
You know, if it's something it's really bothering us, we got to reach out, because then that's where the mental health really takes its toll on us, is when we keep lying to ourselves, I'll take on it tomorrow, I'll do it later, oh, that didn't bother me, you know what, I should reach out, but I don't know how, you know what, if I reach out, they're gonna make fun of me or talk bad about me, and the stereotypical tough firefighter. We got to put all that stuff behind us. No, we can't be, if we want to be, if we want to practice what we preach, and we are preaching mental wellness, mental health, be good to yourself. But if we are talking crap about each other behind their back or to their face and not being supported, then what's the point of all this? And that's why we really need to change the way we think about behavioral health and supporting our brothers and sisters. If they're going through a rough time, let them lean on them. You should be honored and feel like it's a privilege if someone reaches out to you and talks to you about that. They trust you enough to be vulnerable. I believe you talked for the second or third episode about being vulnerable and how hard it is for us to be vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, being vulnerable with yourself and then with others is a huge step. But once you make that leap and take that step, the payout, the payout is peace of mind, mental wellness, finding your life back again. It's tough, but the rewards are worth it.
And then just something to add with what you're saying is, and I think I said this before, but it's a day-to-day process, and some days you're going to feel like you take 50 steps back, and but I feel as long as you put in that effort and you're making those small pushes forward, then the next day maybe you feel like you made 5 steps forward, and the next day maybe 100, and so it's not going to be perfect every day, but you still have to keep pushing towards that goal daily. That's how I feel it works for me. So
No, that's very true. Like, as long as you don't become stagnant and just stay where you at, I mean, if you truly want to get help, it's going to take work. You're going to have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to swallow your pride and keep moving forward. Yes, some days are going to suck. Like that same at work. Some shifts, this cycle was awesome. This cycle was a good cycle for me, but I've had not so good cycles that I just wanted to throw in the towel and be like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. But those small steps, let's say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
but
No
at
matter
a time.
how small the bite is or how big the bite is, keep on working. And the payout, like I said, the payout is it's huge. But the days that you don't feel good, accept it. Okay, I do not feel good today. Why don't I feel good? I just need to rest. Like one day I was really just not having it, and my girl's like, "Hey, take a nap." So I slept for like 5 hours. It was a big long nap, and I woke up and I felt amazing. Other days you might need that support system, but that's where knowing yourself and being vulnerable and honest with yourself, you'll be able to help. Hey, what's going on? Okay, this is the issue. Okay, how can I approach that? So
Makes
not
sense
all
to
days are gonna
me.
be amazing. So, and I think it's really, and in my mind, and just how my mind processes things, like to, it's okay not to be okay. You're not gonna feel 100%. It's okay. Don't feel like a failure because you only got 2, 3 steps in. You're still better off than you were the day before.
Yeah.
So just keep moving forward and take that positive. And it comes back to changing your mindset, having control of your mind and focusing on your mindset. You know, plays a huge has a huge impact on how you're going to handle these things.
Yes, I agree. And that's
So whether it's
go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
That's what I tell people when when they stop working out for a while, and the saying is I'm starting over. Well, you're not really starting over because you have all that experience from
Mhm.
before. You still have it in here, and you know what worked, what didn't work, or what you didn't like, what you did like. And so it's not really that you're starting over, you're just starting again. And so I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the positive mindset and mental health as well. You're not really starting over. uh, each time you're having a bad day or whatever.
And on top of that is you have to believe in yourself. You got to believe that this shall end too. Your bad days will end, and you will have good days. You gotta believe, like, hey, don't undermine yourself, don't cut yourself short, and that's where podcasts like these are important. If you're really trying to better your mindset, better your mental health, your mental wellness, is you are not in this alone. I was in the same boat some person was 2 years ago, or you were 5 years ago. Even though if we are new to this, where technology and information's like that in our grasp within minutes, and we get advice from senior firefighters, that's been here, been in the same position we were, felt the same way we did, and how do they manage it? Do it, so can I. I have to believe in myself that hey, one day I'm in a funk, I'm in a rut, but you know what? That's okay. I will get out of it as long as I keep taking those steps. Get yourself a good post. Don't go down that path of alcohol and drugs, and no, you don't. That's just unfortunately, we've all lost friends that went down that path, and it hurts. And instead of going down that path and causing even more harm for your family loved ones, believe in yourself, take control, and let's move forward. You got backing your people, you get support systems. And if you don't, we can help you find some, and we move forward together. And that's why podcast ideas are really important, because you're not alone.
I agree.
There was a saying that they said, it's an old Japanese saying, or old samurai proverb that says, "Don't speak bad about yourself, for the warrior within hears those words and is lessened by them." No, that's a powerful proverb. I can't talk right now. That powerful proverb, because it's so true. When you talk bad about yourself, you believe it. When you're negative, you believe it. But when you say, you know what, I can do this, I got my system, I have control over my mind, or I know how to get control of my mind, you feel empowered. You feel empowered to make a change in your life, to take control of your mental wellness versus giving in, and you strengthen yourself from within.
One day
So
at a time.
going back to the question, how to deal with adversity, one day at a time. Believe in myself. Use humor. be vulnerable and honest with myself on what needs to be done. So
I like it. I like it. Now, I'm not sure if we recorded this question, but I'm just curious, why do you think us firefighters are more apt to help someone else as opposed to ourselves?
well, for me, it goes back to my childhood where I was taught, it's not about you. You're part of a bigger picture. You're part of something bigger than you. You are just, just a worker.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's the same for everyone, but from what I was, come back to my childhood, that's what I was told and taught. That's why when I go into fire service, we all public servants. That's why I'm here to help them. I could put my needs and my mindset and my desires on hold to help for the greater good. Now that hasn't always worked out. Some people might say, well, because men and women, they save people, and the typical. We all know it's not the case now.
You're breaking up there.
But for me, my childhood.
Okay. All right. I was just curious.
Childhood, I'm all damaged.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Just to reinforce that don't be the reason, just to say that, don't be the reason that someone does not reach out for help. Don't be that person that has shame or really talk trash about someone's emotions, how they feel, or that they need help, or plan this as trying to help people. Don't be that person. No, someone sees you, and you should honor that they are coming to you to feel vulnerable with. Don't take it and abuse it. Seen, heard, even lately, even recently, people, making jokes about what we're trying to do, or making jokes that, well, he wasn't caught out for this, this and this. Don't be that person.
Okay.
Someone doesn't look for you. You build that reputation, and we all here to help each other. So don't be that reason someone else does not reach out for help. And if you can't deal with it, or you don't know what to say, be honest with them. Like, hey, buddy, I don't know what to do or say to this. But you know what? Here's these people that they've been doing it, and put them in the right direction. That's all I have to say for that.
We'll wrap it up right there.
All right.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
It's a good talk. Thanks for having me.